Welcome back to the Magnetic Marketing Podcast. We're finishing off part 2 of 3 today of expert lead generation and top self-liquidating offers with Russell Brunson. Now, in the last episode, we got a teaser of Russell Brunson. What are his values? Why is he driven into what he does? And you got a sneak peek into what he was like back in the past. Today, we're going to jump ahead and you're going to see what his frameworks used to be. If you have followed Russell Brunson at all, you'll know his frameworks have changed over time. They have clarified, they've simplified. You get to get a view of what those looked like back in the day. So we're going to be talking today about a couple of different frameworks, including the WWWH. We're talking about R-S-S-D-L-F, and we're talking about QACTA. Now, those may not make much sense to you now, but you got to remember, this was once upon a time, and these frameworks have definitely evolved over time. So enjoy, listen in, and just remember, a lot of the strategies that Russell covers are evergreen strategies. We're not just pulling things out of the back in order to be able to say, oh, look, this is really interesting, check this out. All of these strategies are evergreen. You can find a way to use them today. All you got to do is be a little bit creative and say, oh, how did I miss that golden nugget?
I don't think there's anybody that has had a bigger impact in the field of direct response than Dan Kennedy.
The legend of Dan Kennedy should be ignored at your own peril.
They're not really lessons, they're kind of laws that you live by.
Dan opened my eyes to what small business marketing looks like.
Dan teaches strategic direct response that is timeless.
His ripple effect touches people who don't even know his name.
The world as we know it was changed because Dan Kennedy became obsessed with marketing.
Welcome to the Magnetic Marketing Podcast with your host, Dan Kennedy.
Okay, so the first type of website, again, is your squeeze page. I'm going to talk about the important elements of the squeeze page and how to make it convert right the first time. Okay, I've seen people who spend days and weeks and months trying to get their squeeze page just perfect, okay? I'm going to show you how to knock one out in about 10 minutes if you're going very, very slow. Okay, there's a couple elements you need. First element you need is the headline, and the headline should be this. Okay, I don't deviate from this headline hardly ever. Rarely, every time I deviate from this, it always bites me in the butt. So I almost always keep this as the headline. It's a good cookie cutter, especially for us. We're opening up in 10 new niches a week. 10 to 15 new niches a week. I can't go and write creative headlines every single time. We figure out one that works, it works consistently, it works well, and we model it. So this is what the headline is. It's very simple. Free video reveals the number one secret to blank. And it was gone through my micro-continuity training. You've heard me talk about this before. Free video reveals the number one secret to blank. Okay, and I talked to you guys earlier about figuring out your number one secret. You want to make sure this is your best secret. Of all the secrets you have, this is your best secret. That's why I wanted you guys to pick out the best one on your 7 secrets. Okay, because this is your hook. This is how you get them in. Dan, the very first day he was talking about building better bait. Okay, you guys remember him talking about that? Having better bait to get someone to buy your product. Okay, it's the same thing with the squeeze page. The better your bait is, the more likely someone is to opt in. So you want to take your best secret, the best thing you want to reveal, and give that away. The better the bait is, the more people are going to opt in. Okay, Beth was talking earlier today about how she had 40% conversion rate on her squeeze page. One of the big reasons why, she's got good bait on there. The bait is what gets someone, you're bartering someone right at this point. You're saying, look, give me your name and email address, I'm going to give you this in return. So the better the bait, the more people are going to say yes. It really comes down to that. So figure out your best secret, and that becomes what your headline is. Free video reveals the number one secret to fill in the blank. Okay, now, what we do on the left-hand side, you notice here we have a video. In this video, we can do a PowerPoint. It can be a headshot video. It doesn't really matter, depending on how good-looking you are, is how good. Everyone always says, is a headshot video going to convert better than a PowerPoint video? Well, it depends on what you look like. That's what it really comes down to. I want to be honest with you guys. So, okay. So now the video, you're going to say a couple things. You need to answer 4 questions on this video. 4 questions. Question number 1: who are you? People came to your site, and they may or may not know who you are, but you need to tell them who you are. Question number 2, what do you have? And here's the hint. What you have is the same thing you're talking about in the headline. Okay? Number 3, why do they need this thing? This thing you're talking about, why do they need it? And number 4 is, how can they get it? What's the process for them to get it? Very simple. Okay, so who are you? What do you have? Why do they need it? And how can they get it? Okay, so for example, if I was on my Potato Gun website, my headline would say something like, free video reveals the number one secret to shooting a potato 50 yards farther than your friends. Okay, that'd be my headline. Now my video would say, the video would show me and it would say, hi, my name is Russell Brunson. I just answered question number 1. That's pretty easy, right? Hi, my name is Russell Brunson. I have a free video that's going to reveal to you the number one secret about how to shoot your potato 50 yards further than your friends. Okay, I just told them the headline. Pretty simple, right? So I covered who am I? What do they need? Now, why do they need that? Why do they need your free video? What's the purpose of it? Okay, the purpose behind it. So for me, the reason why you may want this free video is because you want, if you're out shooting potato guns with your buddies and their guns are shooting 50 yards further than yours, that's kind of embarrassing. People with potato guns aren't really that forgiving with stuff like that. So you don't want to do that. So the reason why I want this video is because it's going to teach you how to beat your friends out when you're shooting potatoes, which is huge. Your gun will shoot twice as far with no extra effort just by changing this one little thing. And last step, how can they get it? Put your name and email address on the form on the side, and then I'll give it to you for free. Okay, see how easy that is? I can knock those videos out in a few seconds. In fact, I am looking for one of our young entrepreneurs who has got a product, who thinks they can come up here and they can knock out one of these videos in 30 seconds for me. Okay, John, come on up. Let's give him a round of applause. Come on, give him energy. And we didn't stage this, but actually, just so you guys know, he came, when was it? How many months ago? Last summer, he just graduated from high school. It was after this event. I met him at this event. He came up to me and said, hey, Russell, can I come to your office and do an internship and work for free for you for a month? Now, what would you guys say to that? All right, so he came to our office, spent a month with us, had a great time, did some crazy stuff. And you're speaking on Sunday, right? Come Sunday, listen to the stuff he's talking about because it's awesome. He built this Twitter thing when he was in our office. I don't even know, he had like 5,000 Twitter accounts. He was doing this thing, he was hacking everything, and it was, anyway, stuff like, I used to think I was like the young kid, the cutting edge and all this kind of stuff, and he comes in and I'm like, just blown away by all like the technology stuff he's doing. But anyway, so come on Sunday, listen to him. Okay, so what's your product?
Okay, well, the actual product that I have right now is a Facebook system that allows you to reach 24,000 people in 2 days.
Who wants that? Yeah, me too. Okay, so we're going to do your video. So again, let's pull the PowerPoint slide. You can see the 4 secrets again. Who is he? What has he got? Why do they need it? And how can they get it? Okay, so we're going to bust this thing out, see how fast you can do it. Ready, Mark, get set, go.
Hi, my name is John Martinelli, and I have the number one secret that I'm going to reveal of how to reach 24,000 people in 2 days on Facebook. Simply by giving away free information. So you need this if you want to reach a lot of people on Facebook and expose your ideas. And you can get that just by entering your name and email address over there to the right.
Awesome. Okay, give him a round of applause, you guys. Perfect. The battery's died on this, but he did it in about, 23 seconds, 25 seconds, you think? He built his whole squeeze page in 25 seconds. So here you go. You have the camera. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep. And show up Sunday here. Give him a round of applause, you guys. Who here cannot do that? We got 2 people back here who can't do that. All right. All right, well, for you two, I got a special package for you. It's a little bit different than everybody else's package, but it's going to be great, I promise you. Okay. So your squeeze page is key. This is like, again, one of the key elements of internet marketing. Now, when I first learned about squeeze page, I was really nervous about using one. But some guys who were smarter than me were using it. I said, look, this guy's smarter than me. He's making more money than me. He knows what he's doing. I'm just going to follow it blindly and use it. And holy crap, I've got a big list now. So trust me, it works very, very well, and you guys should be using them. And that's the method to how we do them. They're very simple. Okay, next thing is your blog squeeze. We talked a little bit about this. Again, your top 1/3 of your site, of your blog, should be your squeeze page. You're driving people to build your list. Now on this, we don't normally put the video of me or whoever it is talking about it on the thing, because when you come to a blog, it's a different kind of situation. A lot of people come to blogs over and over and over again. You don't want a video audio playing saying, hi, I'm Russell Brunson, every single time, because then people won't want to come back to your blog. It's a different, the way you communicate with people on a blog is a little bit different than through a typical squeeze page. Because again, squeeze page, you're directing, you're controlling them and sending them there. So because of that, you have a little more ability to do things. Because you send an email, hey, go check out this video. They're going there and they're expecting to see something. Here, they're kind of just messing around. All of a sudden, they land on a page, and if the first thing pounds them with a video, it's just a different thing. So we don't put videos that autoplay on this. Sometimes we put ones that you have to click to play. But the key is really just having answering those 4 questions here in the copy on the side. Okay, again. Hi, my name is Russell Brunson. I got a free video. It's going to reveal to you the number one secret about this. The reason why you need this is this. Just give me your name, email address, and you can get this. So we usually just write it out in text, and it works really, really well. People that are normally following on blogs like to read stuff. Blog people read stuff, so we do that one more text-based generally. I've also seen success when people put a video here. This one has to click to play, and that's basically the concept. But the blog squeeze, like I said, this is I don't know why people don't talk about this so they don't do it, but this is really one of our best lead generation methods, is just having this blog. And we're doing the stuff we normally do with blogs. We're posting, we're adding pages, we're adding content, all that kind of stuff. And the thing grows and grows and grows, and we're basically creating thousands and thousands of squeeze pages, all based on different keywords. It's really, really powerful strategy. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. Okay, the next step is your video sales letter. Now, I kind of hinted towards this a little bit earlier, but this is one of the greatest gifts just I've ever seen for internet marketers. Now, the first time I heard about it from a guy named Keith Wellman, and he created this video, and he sent it out, and it was really annoying, okay, to say the least. I went to the page, and I showed up, and the video started playing, auto-playing. There was no ability for me to stop it, to play. There was no way for me to fast forward or rewind. I sat there. I'm like, oh, and I started watching this thing, and there was kind of a good hook at the very beginning, and kind of went into it. And then I sat there. I didn't know how long it was. I kept sitting there, and I was sitting there for like 20 minutes, and it was still going on. I'm just like, holy cow, what am I doing? And then he tried to sell a product. I remember I emailed him. I'm like, that cannot be doing well for you. I'm like, that's got to be just horrible. Anyway, he sent me a screenshot of what the money he was making off it. I was just like, are you kidding me? And he's like, yeah, dude, you got to try it out. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, just send an email out to your list and try this thing out. Like, it's converting like I've never seen anything convert ever before. And I was like, I don't believe it. Like, it's just annoyed me. It was weird. I just don't believe it. So I kind of put him off for a while. And then a couple of his affiliates started promoting, and they started emailing me and saying, holy crap, I'm getting $15 per click on Keith's video right now. I'm getting $12 per click on Keith's video. I was just like, are you serious? So I'm like, hey, I still don't believe you, but I'm going to test it out. Okay, I'm the skeptical guy that doesn't believe anyone. So I'm like, I don't believe you, but I'm going to test it out. So I took a small portion of our list, a very small subset, and I sent an email out to this list. And from the email that went out, I think it was it 13? I think our commission check was $13,000, which means he sold $26,000 of his product from that one video. And I was just like, from a small subset of our list, I was just like, I cannot believe that actually happened. He said, it works. He's like, go try it out. He's like, basically take your sales letter, pull out all the copy and everything, just use the subheadlines, and make your video. And so I did that. We went home. I went right away. I took one of our products. It was selling pretty well. I went and pulled out all the subheadlines, put them in the thing. I went through the process, put it up online. We launched it. And the first week of our launch, we did over $200,000 just to our own list of a product we'd already been selling, but through this video process. And I was just blown away. And so since then, we've been shifting all of our stuff over to here. And there's some strategies behind how we do it and why we do it I'm going to go through. But this is like the greatest gift in the world to all of us, to know that this thing works. Ryan Dice just put out a product really recently about it. His product was it was just awesome as well. And so I'm definitely not claiming this as my own thing. I stole it from Keith, and I'm stealing all the concepts from Ryan, but it works so great that I needed to make sure you guys knew about it and that you're doing it because it works so well. So this is the process. Okay, the first thing is that the video needs autoplay. Someone shows up the site, you need to start playing. Okay, if you have to have someone to push play on it, it kills everything. Then you show up the site and you start playing. And the reason why it's kind of like if someone came to your sales letter and it's like, click here to read my sales letter. And then someone clicks there. Who's going to click there to see your headline? You need someone to see your headline really quick, and they're just going to grab them, and then you get them into the copy. Same thing. The video needs to start playing, and your very first second or two of your video needs to grab that person, just like a headline. Grab enough that it keeps them sitting there and wanting to actually figure out what's going on. Okay. Number 2 is no controls. Don't allow them to fast forward or rewind. The reason why conversion rates are better on this versus the sales letter, what happens? They read the headline, they scroll down, they find out what the price is, and then they decide at that point, do I want it or not? If someone actually sat there and read every word of your sales letter, I bet you have almost 50% of the people who read that buy it. Do you guys not agree? Is not your copy really good and compelling and get people to buy? The problem is that people don't read it. That's the biggest issue with sales letters. People don't ever read it. What happens here is they start watching a video, and if you hook them, they can't leave. They can't skip to the end and find out how much the price is and then decide if they want to listen to you. They got to sit there because they hook them with the story. Now they're in the process. Okay, you're spoon-feeding them your sales letter through this video process, and people can't bail and find out what the price is. Again, I didn't think it was going to work, but it's awesome. The average length we're finding that's successful is between 18 and 25 minutes long. Lower than 18 minutes, we're not seeing much success at all. It's like people just, I don't know. You need a little bit longer to sell. I guess it's like the whole argument of long copy versus short copy. When you go above 25 minutes, I was telling people this yesterday in the roundtable, it seems like everybody kind of chunks their time in 30 minutes. And the TV industry is what's kind of screwed us all over. Everyone's used to, at 6 o'clock my show starts, 6:30 ends. Then at 6:30 next one starts, and we chunk our times in half-an-hour blocks. And I think when someone sits down at something, if it's within a half an hour, they're okay with something. It's like, oh yeah, this is, is kind of reasonable. When you pass the half-an-hour mark, at least for us, we see huge drop-off rates. It's like, oh crap, the news is on, and this is still going on. And so I think what we found between 18 and 25 minutes is like the sweet spot for when these things really work. The next thing is the first one I did, it was like a presentation like this, like bullet points, me talking, ad-libbing, that kind of stuff. And it did well. And then when I bought Ryan Dice's product, he talked about what he does is talking sentences, where he just puts sentences up there and he just talks his way through. He doesn't ad-lib, doesn't tell the stories. He's just taking the subheadlines and the copy and just kind of reading it. And he told me he had a huge increase in response from that. So we started doing it, and same kind of thing, which is actually good because it's a lot easier to create the talking sentence ones than it is ones where you're just ad-libbing. So you take the sentences and you're just reading them. You're reading someone your sales letter, chunk by chunk by chunk, and that's basically the process. Okay, now this is the formula we go through in our office. It's a little bit different than I've seen from other people, but this is the formula we do. R-S-S-S-D-L-F. Okay, you guys got that? Okay, good. I'll break down what these are. But this is when our Kevin that writes our copy, when he does our video sales letters, this is the format. I said this is when everyone needs to be. It'd be R-S-S-S-D-L-F. Okay, that's what they stand for. So the R stands for revealing the secret. You remember on the squeeze page and on the blog squeeze, what do we tell everybody? We told them, come to my site, I'm going to give you the number one secret to blank. Okay, they are looking for that promise. If you do not fulfill on that promise, guess what happens? People get angry. They think you're cheating and you're scamming and you're lying to them. So you need to reveal the secret. What is powerful about it, when you reveal the secret, that's how you get them hooked. Okay, that's how they get hooked in there and say, oh, I want to hear more. Okay, so reveal the secret. So if I do my potato gun site, I'm revealing the secret. I'm basically saying, hey, the number one secret is to shoot a potato 50 yards further than your friends is what propellant you're using. Most people use hairspray just by default. Most people use Aquanet hairspray. We shifted ours to Right Guard underarm deodorant, and our potatoes shot way further. I don't know why, but it works every single time. So that's the secret. So if you're a potato gun fanatic, you just watch that, you're like, are you serious? Right Guard? I've been using Aquanet this whole time. I'm angry now. All my friends have been making fun of me. And so now they're hooked on the thing. Now I can start going into the process. Okay? So the first one is revealing the secret. That's the R. Next you have your 3 S's. And I stole this, I believe, from Gary Halbert. Maybe it was Dan Kennedy. I don't know. Whoever made it up, brilliant. But it works. A star, a story, and a solution. A star, a story, and a solution. Now, depending on the video, depends on who the star is. Sometimes I'm the star in the story. Sometimes it's one of our students that's the star. It doesn't really matter, but there needs to be a star, someone that the video, the concept is around. Because people, they relate to other people. If you guys haven't listened to Dan's personality and copy product yet, like that's one, buy that thing and listen to it 3 or 4 times in a row to help you really understand how to develop your star and your story. Because that's just, that product's amazing. I made everyone in our office that writes copy or writes in our newsletter, everyone had to listen to Dan's personality and marketing to understand the importance of that. But it's just huge. So having a star, and then your star needs to have a story. There's some kind of story. Story is what keeps people watching a video for 18 minutes. It gets people engaged, it gets people listening to you. Okay, how many stories have I told you guys today so far? I told you guys a lot. I've been talking for an hour now, but it probably doesn't seem like an hour because I'm telling you story after story. It gets people engaged, it gets people listening. So you have a story. Now your story, the purpose of a story is to find a problem and to agitate that problem. And agitate it, and agitate it. Okay? And the more agitated the person gets by that story and by the problem, the easier now your product becomes. The product now is the solution. So your star, your story, and your solution. Okay, so that's what the middle part of the video is covering the star, the story, and the solution. So here's the product. Now after that, there are 3 closes we do to try to close someone. And I stole this from Ryan as well, who stole it from David Fry, so someone somewhere should get credit for it. I didn't make it up, but it's great. The DLF. Okay, there's 3 ways you want to close someone in the video. The first close, you are focusing on someone's desire. The desire. So if I'm selling a fitness product, I'm talking about how much weight they're going to lose, how you're going to have a six-pack. You're going to look like this guy if you go and you get this thing. The desire behind it. Desire is a very, very strong point to get people to take action. Okay? I've heard it said over and over again, people buy emotionally, but then they rationalize logically. So guess what the second close is? The second close is logic. You take that person who's like, well, I don't know if I believe that. I don't know this. So now you have to bring out the logic. Okay, logic. Now, why does this make sense? This is the deal. Right now you're spending $15 a day at McDonald's. That's why you got the way you are. This product only costs $30. It's 2 McDonald's trips. Now you're going to lose all your weight. So I'm making a logical explanation out to the person saying, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense logically to me. That's the second close. Okay, and then the third close is fear. People, then you have some kind of fear, some kind of scarcity, something that gets them to be like, I need it now. Because people will procrastinate forever if you allow them to. Okay? So desire, logic, and fear. And that's how we create our videos. If you watch any of our sales videos, that's the formula we go through, and they work great. Revealing the secret, introducing the star, telling the story, which agitates the problem, providing the solution, closing with desire, closing with logic, closing with fear. Okay? That thing should make you guys so much money in the next year. If it doesn't, you come back next year and you're like, hey, Russell, that video thing is really, really cool. I'm about to launch my first video. Kicking you in the shins. Remember that, all of you guys. That's what's happening. Okay, so your video sales letter. All right, so now the next question is, what do you sell on your SLO websites? We call these three websites our SLO websites, self-liquidating offers. Okay, so self-liquidating offer, I learned that term from Ryan Dice. Again, I don't know if he's here or not. He should be. He lives close. Self-liquidating offers. Next thing I learned is one of my very first seminar I ever went to, I heard a guy named Mike Littman speak. And if you ever seen Mike, he's like crazy, screaming at the top of his lungs and running around. And the one thing I remember, it had a huge, profound effect on me and my business. He said, amateurs focus on the first sale. Amateurs focus on the first sale. Okay? This really ties back into self-liquidating offers. So I just kind of tell some stories to explain this. The very first time, we did a launch about 3.5 years ago for a product called the 12-Month Internet Millionaire. And we relaunched it again recently as an MP3 player. But the first time we launched it was an ebook on ClickBank, and it was it was an audio. It was a 6-hour interview I did with a guy who made $100 million in 23 months through direct mail. Interviewed the guy, and the interview was just amazing. We put it up on ClickBank, and we gave away 75% commission to affiliates. And I was just like, I only keep 25% of it. I was kind of, at first I was kind of upset, but we launched this thing, and we sold 9,300 copies in a week. Okay, now let me tell you about this. So 9,300 people bought it. How many people do you think went to the squeeze page that didn't buy it? Someone just got it. Someone had the aha moment, right? So I sold 9,300 copies. I only got to keep 25% commission, but holy crap. If 9,300 people bought, let's say I had 10% conversion rate, boom, I'm looking at 93,000 people on my list. Okay, and it wasn't 10%. I wish I had a 10% conversion rate. It wasn't that good. So we got a huge list off of all these people promoting, and we gave away most of the profits. Okay, you guys see how this whole working? A self-liquidating offer, where we're not focusing on the first sale, we're focusing on the building of the list. Okay. Now, a little while ago, we launched. It was actually about a year ago. We launched a product called Micro-Continuity, and we gave away these little MP3 players. Now, I really took this whole concept of self-liquidating offers to the next level. So we took these MP3 players, and I was paying affiliates $40 to give away a free MP3 player. So I was going in the whole $40, plus I had to pay for the MP3 player and ship it out, and someone was just paying like $10 shipping. So I was looking at about more than $50 for every MP3 player I gave away. Cost me $50. But guess what happened? Two great things. First off, I sold 8,000 copies, which means I got 8,000 new buyers. I took these buyers and I did some really cool stuff. Then we called them on the phone, we sold them coaching, we did seminars, we made a whole bunch of money off the buyers. But the other thing is that a lot of people had to come through a squeeze page to be able to get to see the offer. We built lists of hundreds of thousands of people through that launch, and I think when all the math was said and done, and we averaged, it was like $400 and something for every MP3 that we made for every MP3 player we gave away. Do you now see why it was smart for me to give away $40 to an affiliate? Because I made $400. That's good math. Now, it's a little scary at first, obviously, because you're kind of fronting some stuff up front. But when you get the numbers to work right, it's really, really powerful. Again, amateurs focus on the first sale. Those who are making a lot of money, they look at that as lead generation. Look at them as self-liquidating offers. Their goal is not to make money with the first product. Their goal is to break even. Now they got the list, they acquired the customer, now they can focus on marketing other products and services to them. Okay, so that's what your three websites, the goal of your three websites, your squeeze page, your blog squeeze, and your sales video is not to make a profit. Someone asked me yesterday at one of the roundtables, how much money do you make online? I said, nothing. Like, you don't make, I thought you were the internet marketing guru. Yeah, but I don't make anything online. But I build huge lists, okay, and I break even online. But I got these big lists, and I make money in lots of ways with those. Okay. Again, the goal on an SLO, on a self-liquidating offer, is to break even. Okay, so next question, a lot of people say, well, how much should I charge for an SLO? So let me show you the math, how this whole thing works. So self-liquidating offer. So I go out there, and there's a lot of ways to drive traffic. You guys know that. But let's say I go out there, and I get a whole bunch of people to come to my website. It could be through pay-per-click. It could be I bought an email ad. It could be I did SEO. However I did it, but I got a bunch of people to come to my website. Okay? From those people, a whole bunch of them hit my landing page, and they gave me their name and their email address. And from there, a bunch of them came and eventually bought something, right? So there's your path of a customer coming through, of a subscriber. Now, it's just some basic numbers. Let's just say I sent 350 visitors to my website. And again, it could be through pay-per-click. It could be through a million different ways. So 350 people. Let's say I get about a 30% conversion rate. And I know these numbers aren't 100% right, but 30% conversion rate or so gets me 100 subscribers. Okay, now with 100 subscribers, if only one person buys my $37 product, I made $37. Okay, now let me talk to you about the math behind this. So here's the whole thing. $37 my product cost. I have 350 buyers. That means I can spend about 10 cents per visitor to get them to come to my website, and I'm going to break even. Do you guys see the math behind that? So if I can run a pay-per-click campaign and I can get clicks for 10 cents a click, and I can get these conversions to work about that way, then guess what? I've got a winner. I'm not going to make any money on my pay-per-click campaign, but I'm going to get 100 subscribers every single day coming through this thing. I start building my list bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? Now, you may say, well, man, Russell, it cost me 25 cents a click to get this. Okay, if it costs 25 cents a click here, and these are your metrics, just take your price of your product, raise the price, and get it to the point where you're breaking even. Okay? Does that make sense, you guys? So the goal, again, is not to make money on the front-end product. That's what so many people miss, is not to make money on the front-end product. The whole reason why we have a front-end product is to fund our media. Okay, it's to fund our media. It's to make it so that I can spend money on pay-per-click or banner ads or email ads or all these other ways I can drive a ton of traffic. I want to make sure that I can break even on the front end. And then when it happens, boom, I got this big list. And then when I need it, I can pull it out and send some emails out and make a bunch of money. That's the power of a self-liquidating offer. It's really important for you guys to understand that process. Okay, now I want to show you guys just some numbers. Like, let's just say you only get a third as much traffic as I'm talking about from that last example. So instead of getting 350 visitors a day, what if you only get 100 visitors a day? Okay, if you only get 100 visitors a day, let me show you what that means. 100 visitors a day to your site means you're getting about 30 subscribers a day. Okay, so from 30 subscribers a day, remember I told you guys the math, each subscriber, we're averaging about $1 per month per subscriber. So you had 30 a day. At the end of a year, and they take that by 12, you're making about $10,000 on a site that's only getting 100 visitors a day. Not subscribers, 100 visitors a day. You have a site now that's making you over $10,000 a year. Okay? Not too bad. I can throw up a site that gets 100 visitors a day in about 15 minutes. So that's a $10,000 a year raise for 15, 20 minutes worth of work. Is that worth it? You guys are too good to work for 15 minutes for $10,000. Are you serious? Even I'm not below that. Did you guys listen to Joan Rivers yesterday or whenever she was here? Don't be below anything. Okay, so $10,000 a year. Now, let's take some other numbers. So let's say you get 300 visitors a day. That's about 100 subscribers. You do the math, you figure it out. That's a $36,000 a year website. In profit. After the SLO is paid for, this is just off the list based on a $1 per month per subscriber. That's $36,000 a year profit. Okay, let's say you are a little aggressive and you decide to get 1,000 visitors a day to your website, which averages about 333 subscribers a month, or a day, excuse me. That's $121,000 a year website just on 1,000 visitors a day. And that's profit. That's after you paid out for they bought the SLO, you paid off your advertising costs. This is the profit you get from marketing back to that list over the year. Okay? Does that get a little exciting, you guys, hopefully? Good. Do you guys see why I create so many sites now? We're launching 15 a week. Okay? Because I don't have to do a lot of work to make a lot of money. I get this thing working, I set up some systems, traffic starts coming, boom, every one of these things, boom, there's $100,000 a year raise, $100,000 a year, let's do 10 of those a day, let's do 20 of those a day. Let's keep pumping these things out because it becomes a lot of money to you. All right, so every 100 visitors is equal to about an extra $10,000 per year. So how do I get 100 visitors per day? Obviously, that's probably the next question everyone has. How do I get 100 visitors a day? Okay, there's a lot of ways to do it. So I'm going to show you guys a sneaky way. Does anyone here have an iPhone or a phone? You got a phone? I'll come up real quick, bring it up here. I'm going to show you guys, I told you guys a little bit about this, my secret phone number I call. Every time I call it, I get traffic back to my website. Come up here and I want you to stand by this microphone. I need you to make a call for me. I need to get some more traffic and I need you to help me out with it. I'm too lazy to make the call. Okay, so I need you to leave a message. You don't have to leave it this long, but I usually average about 2 minutes and 48 seconds on my message, about as long as I leave it for. And after that happens, a whole bunch of magic is going to happen. So all I want you to do is I'm going to give you the phone number. I want you to call it. Keep it on speakerphone. Okay. Put it on speakerphone. And then what I want you to do is, who here likes to write? Do we have any writers here? Okay. Who here hates to write? All right. The vast majority. All right. Good. That's why. To get traffic to a website, one of the keys is writing. Right? You have to write articles, submit articles, post blog posts, all this kind of stuff. And I had a mentor once told me, said, if you can write 3 articles a day, every single day, for 6 months, you'll be making 6 figures a year. I'm like, 3 articles a day? Are you kidding me? So I want to figure out, how can I make this more simple than that? How can I make it simpler and easier? So we figured out a way that, like I said, takes me 2 minutes and 48 seconds each morning per article. So what I want you just to call this number, and then you're just going to pretend like you're reading. What's your business? What do you do?
I sell investment newsletters.
Okay, give me maybe a minute long, read an article or tell me an article. Now, the way we do articles is very simple. Okay, and I didn't have this on my slide, but I should have. There's a simple formula. Q-A-C-T-A. Q-A-C-T-A. The Q stands for question. A stands for answer. CTA stands for call to action. Okay, so the way I do my articles is, let's say it's a potato gun one. So I call this number and I say, the question a lot of people have is, what is the best way to shoot a potato? The answer is, and I tell them the answer. And then the CTA, I say, for more information, go to howtomakeapotatogun.com. Q-A-C-T-A. So I want you to pick a question you get asked a lot. That's your Q. And then your A is your answer. And when you answer it, and then give me a call to action. Go to your website, and that's it.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to reach.
A question I get all the time is, with interest rates so low in banks, how can I make money in my IRA? The answer is you really need to be looking at dividend-paying stocks. Our typical dividend-paying stocks earn over 9%. To get more information, come visit us at dividendgenius.com.
Awesome. Hang up. Very good. Give a round of applause, you guys. Okay, he just drove traffic to his website. If he was using the system I'm talking to you guys about right now. Okay, who here has a Google Voice account? Google Voice is one of the coolest services in the world. If you don't have one, you can't just go sign up for your thing. Go find someone who's got one and tell them to invite you. They have to invite you right now. Basically, the way it works, and you call in and you give your QACTA. You read that, or you say that on the phone, and what happens is it takes that and it transcribes what you just say, and it pops out. It sends you an email with a couple things. It sends you an email with the entire thing transcribed, sends you the audio of it, and that's it, which is pretty cool. And it also text messages you, okay? So what I do is I wake up in the morning, and what I found out for a 500-word article, it takes me about 2.5 minutes of talking to make a 500-word article. How long does it take you to write a 500-word article? A long time. So this is the process. Very simple. I call the phone number, and then about 3 to 5 minutes later, emails me. Boom, and here's the article. And the article comes back, and the bold words, I believe, are the ones that they they're sure of, and the lighter the words are, they weren't quite sure if they had the right word or not, right? So again, I call and I spend 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes and a half on the phone. I hang up, and then someone on my staff gets this email right here, and they say, boom, here's the article and here's the audio. They take the article and they do a whole bunch of cool stuff. Take the article. Do I have a slide on this, I think? Now, they take the article. Now, the wrestlers I showed you guys earlier, all the wrestlers, they work for me. Wrestle in the morning, they work for me in the afternoon, and then we wrestle again at night. So during the day, they're all working for me. We have a little office set up at the gym, and they work for me. So what they do is they all log in, and they just grab my video or my audios, and they take it. They log in to my Google Voice account. Next things they do is they take the article and they post it on the blog, and they take the MP3 and they post it on the blog. So someone comes to my blog, they have a nice article, and they have an MP3, they have the audio they can listen to. And Google Voice actually gives you like a little player code. They just copy and paste it. They don't write anything. They look at the words in the article. Again, the nice thing about Google Voice is it has the lighter words they're not so sure about. So they read really quick to scan over to make sure, and they change any words that were wrong, copy, paste, boom, they submit they post the article on my blog. Okay? Then they take this article, it's now done, they submit to all the article directories. Then take the audio, they submit to the podcast directories, and then because I love doing videos, but a lot of times I don't have enough time to make tons of videos every single day, they take the article and they chop it into like 5 screenshots. Boom, 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 boom. They take that, and there's a site called Animoto.com. You guys know Animoto? It's a free site. You go to Animoto, and they take that article, they chop it into 5 screenshots, and they take those 5 screenshots, they upload to Animoto, they take my voice track, and they upload that to Animoto, they click a button, and it does something weird, boom, pops out a video with my voice reading the article, and does these little cool jiggy things that people really, really like. They take that video and they submit it to all the video directories. Okay, you see how easy that is? Because I don't have time to knock out videos, especially because I told you before, we're in like 15 different markets every single month we're adding. I don't have time to sit there and make videos and write articles and that kind of stuff. Articles are expensive. You're paying an article writer $15 an article to write it. So what I usually do is I find a niche I want to go into, and I try to find somebody in that niche that's good. Okay, so for example, we're in the fitness industry. So I found some fitness people that are good. I said, look, this is your goal. Every single morning, call up and leave 5 or 6 of these messages. It's going to take you 15 minutes every day. Is that okay? I will pay you very well to call and leave 5 messages every single day. Like, okay, they sit there, they call, and because they know that niche, they understand the keywords, they understand what people want, they call, they spend 15, 20 minutes, they record the message, hang up, and boom, my wrestlers grab it, and they start doing that process. Boom, 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 boom. Start driving traffic back to it. And I pay that person very well to run and manage the content for that site. And all they're doing is calling in the morning. They spend 15, 20 minutes making the phone calls. Okay? Can you guys do that same kind of thing? Okay, in your business? It's a very, very simple process. A lot of you guys know, how many Traffic Geyser members do we have in here? I know we had like half the room last time. If you already got Traffic Geyser, the biggest concern I see people who have Traffic Geyser, they don't have time to sit there and knock out the videos. This is a 10 times faster to knock out your videos, and again, it's all free and easy to do. Okay, so who here thinks they can use that to at least 100 visitors a day? All right, definitely. You can get tons and tons of visitors by writing the articles, and even more by just reading them on the phone.
Thank you for listening to the Magnetic Marketing Podcast with Dan Kennedy. If you love hearing in on these lost Dan Kennedy talks and speeches and calls, then please let someone else know about this podcast. That's how you can help it to grow. And the more it grows, the more free Dan Kennedy we can bring to you. Also, Dan would love to give you the most incredible free gift ever, designed to help you make maximum money in minimum time. Now, this free gift comes with almost $20,000 in pure money-making information for free just for saying maybe. You can get this gift from Dan right now at nobsletter.com. Not only will you get the $20,000 gift, you're also going to get a subscription to 2 marketing newsletters that will be hand-delivered by the mailman to your mailbox each and every month. One from Dan Kennedy and one from me, Russell Brunson. To get this gift and your subscription, go to nobsletter.com right now.